reviewing and roasting your favorite movies on Letterboxd. And we're starting off with a wild profile from one of my followers with their 4 favorite movies being Pixels the Gray, which I've never even heard of, Nacho Libre, which is a funny movie, and Princess Mononoke, which I know is widely beloved. I gave it like a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's that great. Diving into some of your personal rankings, you kind of redeem yourself here with this MCU ranking. I have a different order. I don't have Endgame anywhere near number 1, but I do like Endgame, Civil War, Guardians, Infinity War, and Captain America the Winter Soldier as your top 5. In your DreamWorks ranking, you kind of cooked with this one too. How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Shrek 2, and The Wild Robot, a great top 5. Overall, I'm going to have to give this profile a 5 out of 10 because I can't get over Pixels being your number 1 favorite movie, but respect. And looking at your watch list, I see you have the Lord of the Rings trilogy on there. Just definitely go ahead and watch these already. Next up, we got Carter's profile. He has The Dark Knight, Attack on Titan, The Last Attack, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and La La Land in his top 4, all 4 bangers. I personally give the first 3 of these all 5 out of 5 stars, and La La Land is a solid 4.5 out of 5 for me. It's a great movie, so this is super valid so far. Carter had no public lists or rankings for me to roast, but looking at your watch list, I definitely highly recommend these top 2 rows. Those are all movies I've given a 9 or higher out of 10. Based on your top 4 alone, I have to give this profile a 10 out of 10, and obviously this is all lighthearted. Don't take any of this too serious if I give you a low rating. We got a pretty wild profile here from a frantic, starting with Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, then going into 12 Angry Men and Back to the Future, ending off with Home Alone 2, absolutely wild, but I kind of love it. I also love how 2 of the 7 films on your entire watch list are also Garfield movies. A respectable 6.5 out of 10 profile. Next profile up today is Rome, who has a top 4 favorite movies of Arrival, an incredible movie. If you haven't seen that, please go watch it. An incredible twist too. Hitman, a really fun Netflix movie from a year ago, Manchester by the Sea, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I personally am not a fan of Manchester by the Sea, but Arrival and Eternal Sunshine are absolute bangers. Hitman is very solid. Let's see what your rankings are looking like. 2025 rankings are looking really solid. Again, my order's a little different, but Life of Chuck, Sinners, Superman, Thunderbolt, all great movies. I wasn't the biggest fan of Mickey 17. I think it's a good movie. It just could have been a lot better. Top 10 comic book movies, I'm not gonna lie, you're kind of cooking here. I love the recognition for the Suicide Squad. That's a great film. X-Men Days of Future Past, and your top 3 being The Dark Knight, Into the Spider-Verse, and The Batman, or that's Across the Spider-Verse. Still great picks. Again, on your watch list, all these movies behind me are ones on your watch list that I gave a 9 out of 10 or higher. Highly recommend all of these, especially Best in Show. Super underrated and hilarious movie. All things considered, I'm going to give this profile a strong 8.5 out of 10. Next up, we have Harvey, who based on his bio that says he's a film student. I definitely could have guessed that from the Letterboxd top 4 of Fight Club, City of God, Whiplash, and Gladiator. But even though these are like film bro movies, they are actually all great films. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of your Robert Eggers ranking because The Northman is personally my favorite film of his, and you have it in last place, but it's valid nonetheless. I do love this Quentin Tarantino ranking. Mine's slightly different, but I love that you have Kill Bill Part 1 at number 2 and Kill Bill Volume 2 towards the bottom. I 100% agree. I think Part 1 is infinitely better. I know they're technically one movie. I still think the first one's better. All things considered, I think this is a very solid 8.5 profile. Dan, who's got a Letterboxd top 4 of Inception, one of my favorite movies of all time because it's simply the movie that got me into film in general. Pan's Labyrinth, an absolutely great film if you haven't seen it. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I think that is a really good movie. I don't think it's like a masterpiece or anything still, but a respectable picks, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower, great film. You got a Pixar film ranking here. I'd honestly move The Incredibles up to number 1, but overall this is a very solid ranking. You lose me a little bit on this MCU ranking because as you can see, 9th favorite MCU movie is Multiverse of Madness. 10th favorite is Spider-Man Far From Home. I absolutely despise Spider-Man Far From Home. I also think The Fantastic Four First Steps at 8 is a little high, and Spider-Man No Way Home at 4, again, a little high for my liking, but that was a special theater experience, so this is a little wild overall. You win me back with having Sing Sing as your favorite film from A24. Absolutely amazing. This should have won the Best Picture, honestly, last year. And looking at your watch list, I'd recommend, of course, all these films behind me are ones I've given 9 or higher out of 10, but No Country for Old Men, Eternal Sunshine, and Spotless Mind, and Catch Me If You Can for sure. I gotta dock you a little bit for that wild MCU ranking, but a strong 7.5 out of 10. We got a lot more profiles to go over, but if you want your profile to be considered for the next video, there's 2 ways to be entered. The first is just commenting on this video, your Letterboxd profile, and kind of one sentence about what movies you like. The second is going to my Letterboxd at Vets Movies, obviously following me. Scroll down to my pinned reviews on my profile of paint drying and comment on this post, and I will select you from there. Do not just randomly comment on all my reviews saying like, please pick me. If you do that, that, I'm not picking you. Next up, we have Maddie, who has La La Land, Dune Part 2, Thunderbolts, and Causeway, which I've actually never seen this last one or heard of it, so you've out-film buffed me there. But I'll say I absolutely love the first three. Dune Part 2, one of my favorite films ever created, if not my number one, honestly. Didn't have many lists, but looking at your Timothy Chalamet ranking, again, I love Dune Part 2 at number one. I think A Complete Unknown is a little high. I honestly really didn't care for that movie, but Little Women, Beautiful Boy, Wonka, all really good films. Of course, I'd have Dune Part 1 up higher too. That would be my number two, but I'm biased. I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10 for this profile just for having Dune Part 2 in your top 4, I'm not gonna lie. Don't worry, I didn't forget your recommendations. Blade Runner 2049, Sing Sing, Iron Claw, and Moonrise Kingdom off your watch list. Definitely watch all these. Next up, we got Alex, the first Back to the Future film in your top 4 favorites. I absolutely love. A classic film you can't go wrong with. Same is true of Gladiator. Prisoners, an absolutely haunting film. Denis Villeneuve always cooks. Now, I did really love F1. I think it's one of the best movies of this year, right outside the top 5 personally. It being in your top 4 already is a little wild, but hey, if you really liked it that much, respect. Now, I want to roast you so badly for having Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman as your top 2 DCEU films of all time, but looking at this ranking, it makes me realize, like, yeah, there's no really good choices for a best DCEU film, so even though I despise both of those movies, I kind of can't flame you too hard. The only DCEU films I'd have good aren't even on your ranking, which would be Aquaman, the first film for me, and like Zack Snyder's Justice League, oddly enough, I do really like. X-Men ranking, again, a little all over the place. Deadpool being all the way down at 9, but Deadpool and Wolverine at 1 is kind of crazy work, I'm not gonna lie. I also think the first Deadpool movie is better than Deadpool 2. If you just ignore Deadpool and Wolverine at number 1, I do love Days of Future Past, X2, and First Class. That's probably my same top 3, not including Logan. Watch list is full of incredible films that you should definitely be checking out. Like, watch Lord of the Rings trilogy, watch The Batman, Avengers Infinity War. Come on, what are you doing? Watch all these films ASAP. They're all peak. Overall, just because of some wild rankings, I'm going to have to give you a 7 out of 10, but I do really like the top 4. Next up, we got Bob. I always notice this dude liking all my reviews, so shout out to you. And your top 4 here, you got The Grand Budapest Hotel, banger of a movie, incredible visually. Not one of my favorite Wes Andersons, it's like an 8 out of 10 for me personally, but still really good. And we got a wild one thrown in here of the Bob's Burgers movie, which I'm not gonna lie, I've never watched Bob Burgers. I didn't know there was a movie. Now I kind of need to know, is your real name Bob, or do you just love Bob Burgers so much that you put Bob in your name? And I've said Bob way too many times now. We also got La La Land and Guardians Volume 3 in here, so outside of the Bob's Burgers movies, a banger top 4. Really like your 2025 ranking. I was confused on Sing Sing and Nickel Boys being there, but as you said in the description, this is based off of Australian release dates. Superman, Sinners, Sing Sing, Weapons, Thunderbolts, all great. Love the recognition for Lost in Starlight. That's a really solid animated film on Netflix. And top 20 movies of the decade. Huge Bob Burgers guy, apparently. I gotta respect it. Hamilton, not for me. Tick Tick Boom, again, not really my thing. But I love the respect for Guardians Volume 3, The Holdovers, Banshees of Inisherin, Superman, Sinners, Everything Everywhere All at Once, bangers everywhere else. Based on your watch list, definitely watch Tron Legacy before Tron Ares comes out soon. Again, The Northman, I'm going to keep glazing it. The new Count of Monte Cristo film is incredible. Definitely watch The Departed too. I'm going to give this profile a strong 8.5 out of 10. So like I said, if you want to be in the next part, comment your username down below and make sure you're following me on Letterboxd personally. If you want to see all my latest movie reviews on the channel, click the playlist above my head, and thank you so much for watching.